Good evening, everybody. This is my first podcast episode, and got my homeboy Chris with me, man. Just open discussion, man. We're gonna discuss all different type of topics, and you watching real perspective. What you think about that?
Pretty good topic.
I'm talking about like the introduction. You know what I'm saying?
Anyone,
Honestly,
honestly.
all right, man. Open discussion, man. So, what should we start off with? Let's talk about the climate in hip hop right now.
Is it cold or hot?
I mean, hip hop is in a. I'm not gonna say I like the direction that hip hop is going into, but I will say this: I'm all for like women empowerment as far as like the movement and the women kind of coming in and you know what I'm saying, taking
Yeah.
over. Like they running it.
Yeah, they running it now. Yeah.
You got the City Girls, you got Megan Thee Stallion,
Megan.
Sweetie. You know what I'm saying? Like they running it. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm all for
Yeah.
women empowerment and hip hop mute and women taking over the whole culture.
That's dope.
Yeah, but with me, I just feel I kind of miss that. You know, like in the early 2000s when there was more diversity
Right.
and authenticity, and like you can distinguish where an artist was from based off of their sound.
Yeah.
It's just like the St. Lunatics. You know, they coming out of straight out of St. Louis. You know, Kanye West, Twista, Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's all Midwest.
Yeah.
Then you take it down south. You got Lil Jon, the East Side Boys, Youngbloods, Jeezy, Gucci.
Oh yeah.
They straight out of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
UGK.
You dig what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I miss about it. Just the authenticity and kind of how you can distinguish where an artist was from based off their sound, the city, the region. You know, that's what I miss about it the most. Just how it was important to have your own sound and your own unique. You know what I'm saying? That's what I miss about it.
Yeah. That's sorely lacking in today's hip hop.
It's like you listen to East Coast artists today, them motherfuckers sound like they from down south. You know what I'm saying? Like trapping in a bando.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, damn, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing away from them because I get it.
Right.
It's a business. And that's what's selling records now. Like, motherfuckers that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like it's just like everybody's just doing what the last person just did.
They following that.
Yeah, it's just like, to me, that's what was dope about the shit, to have your own sound. And, you know, it's just like, it's just like a painting.
Right.
Like, it's your canvas. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of how people critique it or who chooses to fuck with it or not, you know what I'm saying? It's just about being unique and, and just being who you are.
Right.
And knowing who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a form of expression.
Right.
That's hard to do, but when you got music, that opens up the doors for everything.
Hell yeah. I don't know. It's like, what else you want to cover today, though? There's a lot of shit that I
There's a
want
lot
to just...
going on, man.
Man, what? It's a lot of shit that I really just want to talk about. Let's see. Well, let's get back into that discussion, though, as far as just because I was talking to somebody earlier about this shit, too. Like, as far as how the culture, like, how hip-hop in general, like, shapes the culture.
Right.
because whatever's going on, people don't realize that hip hop itself plays a big role in society. People do not realize that, man, like whatever's going on in the music, it shapes the culture.
Yeah.
Whatever they talking about, whatever trends is out, that's what's going to shape the culture and raise the generation. And I'm not speaking on like, you know what I mean, like certain people, you know, I mean, how you raise your kids is how you raise your kids.
Right.
Whatever you teach them in your household, like we disregarding it. I'm just talking about like in the sense of just, you know, the culture kind of just, you know, the music has a strong influence on how people think. You know what I'm saying? People do not realize how powerful it is. Like,
music is definitely powerful.
And it's showing, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I look at the mindsets of certain people, and it's just like how certain women have these crazy expectations from guys, and you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no man in his right, let's just say, you know how, like, how can I put this? Like, when you got certain people, certain women that expect you to buy them Chanel bags and fucking Birkin bags and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking on people like a regular working class person.
Right.
Like, who in their right mind would spend $20,000 on a bag? Around here, that's like a fucking down payment on a house.
It is.
Like, that shit is crazy to me. Like,
Ridiculous, man.
and you got people that really got that set expectation for a man that you just met
Yeah.
to fund you a lifestyle that you can't even afford yourself.
Yeah.
We're not speaking on the ones that actually can afford it, because, you know, that'll change the whole situation to change. If that's somebody that you fucking with or dating, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll look at it from a different perspective. When you can fund your own lifestyle, that's different. We speaking on the ones that can't even afford it, but had a set expectation for a man to just, you know what I'm saying, come straight out of pocket and buy you all this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Without them having to do anything.
Exactly. Like, what else are you bringing to the table?
They don't feel like they have to bring that to the table.
Shit, fucking like a nigga ain't finna, man.
Then all they gotta do is show up.
Like, I'm just saying, like, but don't you think that's a stupid ass investment? Like, that's
It is.
20 grand on a fucking bag. But don't get me wrong, like, I don't knock, like, the artists, you know what I mean? That's just imagery.
Yeah.
That's their job, you know what I mean? They in the entertainment business. They can actually, you know, they can afford to buy 20 bags, and then won't even hurt them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We speaking on you regular working class women, just like, you know what I mean? If you got a day job during the day, you know what I'm saying? We speaking on them.
Right. But you have to hold the artists accountable to a certain degree, because they put that out there, and the way society has been for years, people model their lives after what they see in a music video.
Exactly. It's just like with, and nothing has changed if you ask me. It's just like the video vixens from the early 2000s.
Yeah, they moved to the gram.
Yeah, it's the same shit. You just see it every single day. Like, nothing has changed. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, what you aspiring to do that. I mean, do what you do.
Right.
I don't knock nobody for whatever they choose to do with their lives or how they choose to live their lives. You know, that's your personal choice. Do what you do. But my thing is, like, it does play a role in society. The messages that you send out there. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
And don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to always be positive, and it doesn't have to always be negative.
Right.
But it just needs more balance.
I get that. Right now it's like all the way to the left side.
Exactly. Like, and the
always to
trends
the
are
right
just
side.
out of this fucking world. Like, I can't keep up. I'm not trying to keep up no more.
No, man.
I'm like, man, shit.
See, most people would call us lame for that. But fuck
But
it.
that's an opinion.
It is.
I don't give I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
It's
That's
like-
none of my business.
Not everybody is wearing like the latest trend of anything. Cause honestly, those people, in my opinion, they're like miserable because they have to keep up with that every day,
Mm-hmm.
constantly.
Yeah, it's just like you ain't never really just satisfied with, you know what I mean? You'll never be happy with yourself. You constantly just trying to jump on every fucking trend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just me. All this shit. Yeah, you'll never just be really just content with who you are as a person either.
No.
If you feel like you got to live up to other people's expectations, and like I'm like, man, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all about your inner peace and your happiness is what's, you know what I mean? That's what's real to me. That's what's
Yeah.
your sanity and what you feel like when you first wake up in the morning, the conversations you have with yourself, and like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to, whoever viewing this right now, you got to acknowledge that, man. That's real talk. You know,
I feel you on that one.
but don't get me wrong though, like, I'm in saying the wrong shit on this. Like,
Fuck it. It's your podcast. Say what you want to say.
you know how we, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know the conversations we be having.
Exactly. Have them here.
I will admit though, everything is not for the internet though.
No.
Everything is not for the internet.
People use their social media as diaries and journals and shit. Like,
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that either. I mean, we
I
doing
mean-
that to a certain extent right now.
it's all this medium to get our expressions out. You know, it's different from actually blogging your day-to-day activities. I mean, if somebody can actually look on your social media page and actually know what you do from day-to-day basis, that creates problems down the line because anybody can see that.
Yeah. But you got to be in your right mind and
You
take
do.
responsibility about what you're putting out there.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's common sense. Because the spoken word is powerful.
It is. People don't realize
Power of
that.
the tongue, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not just finna sit up here and say that I'm always self-righteous or I always make the right decisions, because that'll be just a big lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect.
Well,
I'm not always gonna make the best decision, but at the end of the day, I feel like as long as I learn from it and just gain an experience and don't make the same mistake twice, I'll be fine, you know?
Right. Well, you have to be righteous to yourself. Meaning, if you wake up today, you have to know that you didn't lie to yourself about things that you want to express or will express in the future.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It has to be righteous. Like, for instance, people on a daily basis, right? They get up, you see them at the park, and you have to have this, hey, how are you, frivolous conversation. Well, you really didn't be in the mood to do that. It's just a natural courtesy of what you do. But if you don't do it, people look at you like you're an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. I never really looked at it from that point of view. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, it's different levels to it. It's like that passive aggressiveness. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. else you want to touch on?
Sad.
There's a lot of shit that I really want to discuss though. Like, but the reason I brought that up, like earlier when we was talking about, like, I feel like with the music kind of shaping the culture and shaping their point of views on relationships, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it really does play a big role in that.
Yeah. Can't believe we got to this point.
To me, it's always been like this to a certain extent, because the music has always been there. It always shapes the culture.
Yeah.
Whatever the messages is, whatever the trends are, you know what I mean? That's gonna be the role in society.
Just multiply it.
Whether it's dumbing down society or, you know what I mean? It's always, the music is always gonna be there.
Yeah.
And you don't think the government knows that?
The government
You don't think they know that?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
come on.
They know all about that.
Why do you think we got these fucking ear pods and, like, you know what I mean? It's just to distract you. That's all it is. It's just one big distraction.
Yeah.
And they know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting it in these stores and putting it out on the markets, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, it's all monetary gain, and it's all just to make money.
Yeah.
It's just all one hustle.
It's part of someone that's
Yeah,
designed.
don't get me. I'm not looking like I see it from the business aspect of it. Like, you know.
It's a good business aspect of it. This is all going part of someone's plan when you think about it.
Yeah,
Trying to divide the people.
exactly. That's exact how you just summed it up. Right. That's exactly what it is.
How do you do that? You get people when they're young and work on them from a young age. That way they can grow up to be what they want, what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but I feel like that also comes with what type of upbringing you had as well. Like if you grew up in a structured home, 2-parent home, which I did, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody didn't grow up the same way.
No.
So you got a lot of people that probably grew up in single-parent homes that didn't really have no good influence, or didn't really have no type of influence. So, you know what I mean? When you go outside, that's pretty much whatever's going on in your environment. You know, your environment raises you.
Yeah.
Because everybody didn't grow up in a 2-parent home. Everybody didn't have no structured upbringing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's lacking.
And the music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you constantly just listening to that, it's going to have a big, strong influence on you.
Yeah. And mostly people listen to the negative side of it.
Yeah,
That's a large contributor to what's happening.
yeah, that's true. I feel like that is probably one of the biggest issues in our community, you know. That, and we haven't evolved as a race yet. Well, to the level that I feel like we should be.
Right.
To where we just, you know what I'm saying? You know how like the Hispanics, like how they really just fuck with each other, and you know what I'm saying? They look after each other.
Yeah.
I even noticed that working in the warehouses, man, like they stick together. They really look out for their own.
Yeah. Because they realize who the enemy is.
And who is that?
Some might call it the white man. Some might call it corporate. It all depends on your perspective.
Yeah. I don't know. We can't keep using that same excuse as far as being a successful person, because, you know, success is a choice
It is.
that everybody has. Success is a choice that everybody has.
But you can't deny that there are people in power who put up obstacles for people of color.
Yeah, that's true.
But the opportunity is still there. But there are certain things that they do to like deter you from going down a respectable path in the first place.
Hmm.
'Cause when you think about it, you didn't see like none of this stuff back in the 60s and the 50s because we were still the civil rights hadn't happened yet. And that plays like a big part of it. Because when you think about it, back then everybody was like together. And now that you're free, which is a good thing, I'm not taking anything away from the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like after that, they found a new way to divide us.
Mm.
Which is where the laws that they did came into play. Which is why they made it harder for people in the workforce, especially the sisters. But what I think happened was,
Speak up a little bit, just in case.
yeah, what I think happened was that how the shift between the sexes, male and female, how women are now up as far as in education and everything.
Are you basing it off of why society is the way it is right now?
Yes.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The way it is right now.
I mean, I'm all for the movement.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have no type of, you know what I mean? I'm all for it.
But what I'm saying is they gave women and put them in positions of power back then
Mm-hmm.
so they can, I guess, keep the black men under control, if that makes any sense. Because if you always notice, they always try to emasculate you.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just a different way to keep control over everyone. But you got some people that, how long you got?
Two people tuning in right now.
Okay. You got some people that think maybe this will get better if we don't do anything, but you have to actually speak up in order to be heard. Because
Yeah, your voice is powerful.
yeah, and the way things don't get done is if you press people about the issue. That's what the black community hasn't been doing.
Right.
That's why you have, when you think about it, the LGBTQ community, they got stuff passed for them like it was nothing in legislation. Because they had more people out there standing out and fighting for what they wanted to do. But if it's for like other black people, they want to tear you down. That's what comes from that crab in the bucket mentality.
Mm-hmm. You mean in regards to when one person is going and drifting in the direction of being successful, and
Yeah.
this person really just doesn't have any type of high self-esteem about himself, and he feel like he can't do it or try to make his dreams into reality. So
Yeah, so it's like,
I'm gonna have a form of hatred towards this person because he's trying and I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's the crab in the bucket mentality.
Like, why even try? That attitude.
Yeah.
Just not get off that hate, man. People would be better for it. Because when you think about it, we can actually flip the script overnight if we wanted to, as the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. think about how black people are being portrayed in media?
It's all by design. And the government knows that.
Yeah.
They've been knowing that for years. That's why things are the way they are. Because they know just how powerful, like, if we unionize, really just unionize all across the United States, all inner cities, all small towns, just we all just come together as a race, like really, really come together. You know what I mean? We could really just, man, like you said, like shit would change
Drastically.
just like that.
Drastically.
But first, we would have to just, the first step would be unionizing and evolving.
Right. That means we have to
Yeah,
question the culture itself
right,
from the beginning to where it is now.
right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's a lot of stuff that's like really unhealthy in our community.
In regards to what?
Like just the self-hate.
What about mental health?
That is a big issue.
What about domestic violence?
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now. And that goes back to how you were brought up and what you see.
Yeah, your upbringing shapes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real perspective. The honest, real perspective.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, anything else you want to touch on?
No, nothing comes to mind. We'll probably have more to discuss later.
I guess that's for a whole nother conversation, huh?
A whole nother conversation.
Well, whoever chose to tune in, man, we appreciate y'all. Thank you. Viewers, for the support. Y'all have a good one. We out.